Ms. Maria, thank you very much for being with us today. Can you give a brief introduction and background about yourself?
Sure. I'm Professor Maria Wright. I work at Pepperdine University. I am the Associate Program Director for our Masters of Education programs. And my background is in higher ed administration. I primarily have been working in my research areas are women in leadership, as well as student involvement in educational decision making. So that's a little bit about me.
So can you just tell us what kind of things that the Education Institute should do to have evolved as a leader in the field of education, a leader in the field of thought leadership? What kind of path should an Education Institute take?
Yes, I think examples and mentorship is a really big part of education. Teachers can no longer just go teach content in classes. It's imperative that teachers are developing the student's whole being, meaning not only an academic, but those social skills that allow them to become good leaders in the future. Also, the practice of and the art of decision making at an early age is critical, giving students the autonomy to make decisions in kindergarten, and that those can be on any scale, but the practice of critical thinking starts at a very young age, and education is a huge part of developing the whole person who could eventually be the leader of our country and our world. So,
you're talking about developing at the kindergarten stage itself. Traditionally, Ms. Maria, the education tends to be, or in most places, directive, in the sense the faculty or the teacher telling the students what to do. The thought today is radically different. How should education be used as a tool to develop the leadership qualities already present in the students?
Well, it's changing, right? As you just mentioned, you're no longer going into a classroom and just receiving. In my classroom, my students are also the teacher. So this teacher-learner role is exchangeable throughout all interdisciplinary and all subjects. So allowing students to take on the role of educating their peers and even their professor at times is very important, and the teachers no longer coming in as the know-all be-all, right? Especially in graduate education. So I teach at the Graduate School of Education and Psychology, and many of my students are older than me and have more experience than me. And so the idea that I can come teach them the content of the theory, but I also have to humble myself and learn from their experiences that make them so unique and brilliant. So this idea that you, as the professor, have the role of facilitator, but also teacher, learner, and everyone is responsible for educating each other, is the type of modern classroom, I would say, versus the directive style that we are very familiar with.
In teaching, there's a belief that unless you're learning, you're really not teaching. Unless you're growing and learning yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's what we signed up for. We signed up to be lifelong learners so that we could facilitate learning for others. So that is very true. We're constantly learning. And it's very naive to believe that you've mastered any subject. With the development of technology and the rapid changes in education, from curriculum to development to technology, even the way in which we teach is constantly developing, and that's being researched. So there's no way, and there's absolutely no way to have all the knowledge at one time. So very true.
So how was your experience today at NDIM?
Very, very fun. We had a great time today. Some very meaningful dialogue, and across cultures is always great. But we even learn more things about each other in our own group that I think can only happen in an environment like this. I can see that NDIM is dedicated to those types of discussions and that type of dialogue, and so I'm super excited about what's in store.
So you were able to identify some directions for future research as a result of interaction today?
Absolutely. So my group focused on cross-cultural leadership, and education, and we talked about what it means to be a leader in a cross-cultural setting, right? How do we make everyone feel welcomed in our environments? And how do we maximize on our differences? And that takes a skilled leader to set the atmosphere and set the foundation for that type of experience for everyone involved. So we thought we wanted to look more into maybe how fear and other forms of anxiety can impact a leader, and this creating this culture of inquiry to where you can, as a leader, you're not afraid to ask questions, and that you continue to be the learner that we were just talking about. And so we want to look at a phenomenological study that would allow us to take the successes and best practices from those who are dedicated and culturally competent in a leadership role, and see how we can help support other leaders who want to be more culturally competent and aware. So yeah.
Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
We look forward to your being here again.